well-coached team. I think they executed better than we did today, obviously. I told our football team that, it was going to be a physical game today. I thought that we handled ourselves well relative to the physicality of the game, but we didn't execute as well as we needed to win the game. Couldn't get off the field on third down situations, and had some opportunities offensively that we couldn't capitalize on. But couldn't be more proud of a football team. Honor to coach them, honor to be around them. The way they competed this year, regardless of the circumstances, they just kept playing. I think the best illustration of that was the first 5 minutes of the third quarter. I challenged them and told them, which is a bit risky as a head coach when you tell your football team that the game is going to be decided in the first 5 minutes of the third quarter. Because if obviously Ohio State goes down and scores, it probably takes the wind out of our sails, but we came up with a big turnover, and then we consequently scored there and made it 28-21, and just loved the resiliency of our group, and just very, very proud of them. Open it up to questions.
Please raise your hand so we can get a microphone to you. First question over here on the end.
Coach, you have any status update on Jalen Smith and what happened to him?
A significant knee injury.
Right here in the center.
Brian, you said earlier in the week that this game would be a measuring stick for you guys, kind of comparing it to where you were 3 years ago when you didn't measure up. How do you feel you guys measured up today, big picture?
Feel pretty good about where we're going, and we certainly needed to execute better, but didn't feel like we were outmanned. We were shorthanded today, but we weren't outmanned.
Next question. Any other questions?
Okay, we'll
right
see
here
you
in
folks
the
later.
off to the left here.
Shoulder injury, yes. I know our medical pretty good. If you want to, we have quite an extensive list.
Did Martini have something on his hand too?
Yeah, but he was able to continue to play.
On the right here in the front row.
Yeah, Coach, just talk about Jalen's injury, and he's meant so much to this team, and to see him go off the field like that, I mean, it must have been heartbreaking.
It is, certainly, the guy that is so impactful, I guess. I mean, Joe is a leader on our defense, but he would tell you that Jalen impacts what we do defensively significantly, and then Tavon, obviously goes out right away, and we're putting Jared Grace in a very difficult position. Jared's unbelievable. I mean, he's a Mike linebacker. He's a rush end. He's a will linebacker. He's whatever you ask him to do, and he comes in there and competes. But you lose a guy like that early on, it significantly affects, what you're doing defensively.
Second row center.
Brian, I believe you were trailing by double digits for 48 minutes, and you cut it when Will Fuller scored on the long pass play. You cut it to 10. Did you consider an onside kick at that point, or were you just concerned about giving them the short field?
Well, I mean, I think you saw, the way the game was going. We felt like there was enough time. We still had 3 timeouts. We felt like we just needed one more stop, and I didn't feel like giving them any field advantage at that time in the game. And we have quick strike capabilities of scoring, that it wasn't at the forefront of the tactical decisions that I would have made at that point.
And I don't know if you want to answer this or if we just ask Sheldon, but I mean, at what point did he get hurt during the week, and what did you expect that you could get out of him today?
Well, we thought Sheldon broke his foot the other day. I was very confident that he didn't, because there was no way that we could break another foot. But I think I was the only one. He went and got an X-ray on Thursday. It came out clean. He got treatment round the clock, and that's the kind of guy he is. Here's a senior playing in his last game, got treatment all day, got himself ready to play, and then got deathly ill last night, right, Sheldon? Yeah. We had to have him on medicine and IVs to make it through the game. So that's the kind of captain he is. He's unbelievable. He gave us everything he had today, and he was on IVs all morning.
On our left here, second row.
Coach, when Bosa got ejected in the first quarter, did you have any sort of message for your team about trying to take advantage as the momentum seemed to swing in your guys' favor?
Well, I mean, certainly, you recognize when your one of the top players is out of the game. I mean, we didn't change anything in the game plan. We got a little bit of a lift because we got a 15-yard. We had a play that went for, 15 yards, plus we had 15 tacked on. So we had a little bit of momentum because of the play. But you're not really thinking, Bosa's out of the game until, a little bit later. But I think the play and then the 15 yards is a significant, chunk play, and that's where you get most of the momentum.
Staying on the left here, second row.
Yeah, the starts for the two teams are pretty much polar opposites before evening out a little bit after that. What do you think that was a function of with OSU getting out to that start?
Well, I thought that they ran the ball effectively. I think obviously their first series was outstanding. They ran the ball effectively right down the field. So I just think that they executed very well early on. It was the difference in the game really. Those 14 points early, and we had to play catch up from there.
Center aisle in the back.
This is for Joe and Sheldon. Could you guys talk about Ohio State's rushing game and just what made it so difficult to slow down?
Sheldon, you want to go first? Yeah, go ahead. I would definitely say Ezekiel Elliott. He made it so challenging because he's a physical back and he definitely makes his presence known. So he definitely did some special things with his feet today, and I'd probably say that's the most difficult about it.
I would say that schematically, they do a great job of kind of creating challenging situations with just changing numbers and unique plays. You combine that with Ezekiel Elliott and JT Barrett's ability to run the football, and then their offensive line doing a great job all day. So I wouldn't say, I would say their back is very talented, but they did a great job scheming, especially early on. They had did some good plays.
In the very back.
For Coach, just how proud you are of your defense. Back here, Brian. Just the defense, obviously so depleted, and how proud you were of their effort, and maybe a microcosm of the whole season. And then for the seniors, same question really of staying in it.
Yeah, I'll reiterate what I said to them in our mental edge meeting, was that I felt like this game would ultimately be decided on who was tougher and who was more physical, and we didn't get out toughed. I mean, they ran the ball effectively, and I'm not taking anything away from their ability to do so, but we didn't flinch, and that's the mark of this team this year, that they played hard and physical regardless of who was out there. They gave us everything they had. We're a little shorthanded, but they didn't make any excuses for it. They battled. We were missing, a rotation inside defensively at the tackle position, but they didn't complain. They took extra reps, and that's the mark of a group that just is bought in to do whatever is necessary to win.
Front row here.
Coach, was it a continuance of the injury with C.J. Procise? I know he was in very briefly, and then...
Yeah, he just felt like he couldn't go.
Any other questions? Back on the risers again.
Just for the seniors, what your time at Notre Dame has meant to you guys?
Go ahead, Nick.
It's been very special. Went above and beyond expectations coming in. These 4 years have been unbelievable, and this team, I couldn't be more proud or honored to be a part of this team. Selfless guys that really care about themselves or everyone else more than themselves.
Yeah, I kind of echo that sentiment from Nick. There's no guys I'd rather play this game with. It didn't matter if it was practice, if it was a game, if it was, doing the program in the off season. I've never had more fun, and this last 5 years has just been a remarkable experience, and I wouldn't trade it for absolutely anything in the world.
I would definitely say, I would reiterate what everybody said. It's been a special year for everybody, and just going through these 4 years just with these guys, it's been fun grinding with them, and most people can't say that. We definitely enjoyed the process and wouldn't change it for the world.
Center here in the second row.
Brian, straight ahead here again. It's been 22 years since Notre Dame won a major bowl. I know if there was an easy answer, you would have implemented it, but what do you do to stop that streak, or do you just stay on course with where you're headed right now and build upon that?
I like where we are. I mean, we're going to keep banging at the door, keep playing Ohio State, keep playing Florida State, keep playing Alabama, keep playing these teams in these kinds of venues and these kinds of games, we don't want to be playing, directional teams with, no profile to them, these, big names, great traditions, New Year's 6 games, keep playing them, get in them, keep building your program, keep recruiting, keep doing it the way we're doing it, and we're going to win these games. We've already made significant progress from where we were in 2012. We'll get there, hopefully we won't have as many injuries, and we'll get back here again, and we'll win them. I had a similar process in my career earlier when I was in Division II. It took us about 6 years to win a playoff game, and then we won 3 national championships. And look, I'm not saying we're ready to win 3 national championships, but stay the course, keep doing what we're doing, keep recruiting, keep bringing in great guys like this, and we'll get there.
Another question here on the far left.
Brian, Jeff Snook. Question for you on Michigan State. You saw how they loaded up and stopped, and they only had 5 first downs, and they come back the next week with a different approach and basically were unstoppable. Were you wondering which offense you might see today?
Well, I thought they did a very good job of, spreading it out a little bit more. Clearly, you could tell early on that they were going to ask, JT to throw the ball if he had free access throws. So it was clearly a different, offensive structure. And they still went to what their strength was, and that's running the ball 54 times. They just did it with a bit of a different look, and it tends to spread you out a little bit more, creates a little bit more space. I thought it was effective today. We would have welcomed the ball of the game to be a little bit, like Michigan State, but I think it was a very good, well planned out game plan.
Another question here on the far right.
Yeah, for Deshaun, if you could just talk about Team 127 and what you're going to take away from these guys and what they taught you, what you're going to take forward next year.
Yeah, being kind of thrown into a situation that I wasn't really expected this year, to have these guys around me and the other seniors who are over there to help me become the leader that I am now. It's been awesome. Team 127 is one that everyone's going to remember. Obviously, there's some things that we would like to have back and some guys we would like to have playing alongside of us. But to have guys like, Joe, Sheldon, and Nick pick me up right away and teach me how to be a guy to lead an offense, it's been awesome. I've learned quite a bit, and it's obviously a very disappointing situation to have a guy or to have guys like this who are so impactful to my life not go out in a victory.
One last question here in the center.
Yeah, Coach, Devin's injury obviously forced Nick Watkins into the game, and I wanted to get your thoughts on him, and I also wanted to ask about Andrew Trombetti. Was it always kind of the plan to get him more work, or was that a result of some of the things that happened along the defensive line this past week? And can you just talk about what you got from those two young players?
You know, I thought Nick competed well. You know, we knew he was going to be a target. But you know, here's what we asked him to do. They're going to throw it out there, make the tackle. Now, he was holding on for dear life most of the time, but I love the fact that he was out there and he was not afraid of the moment. I don't know, Joe, what did you think? You were out there with him.
Yeah, no, I mean, Nick's the kind of guy that he's not going to flinch. I think he competes against our receivers every day.
We like him.
Yeah, so tough.
I thought he did a nice job, and you know, he didn't give up any big plays. We just asked him to keep, you know, play top down and keep it in front of you, make the tackles, and let the front seven handle what they can handle. And then as for Andrew was slated to get most of the work out there. And he made some good plays. He made the athletic plays. You know, the one thing with Andrew is, you know, he's just got to let it go. You know, at times, you know, and Sheldon knows this better than anybody because he runs that room. You know, he can go, and sometimes it's just a matter of letting it go. And when the light goes on and he goes all the time, I think he's going to be a really, really good player for us.